Hello and welcome to Paints and Glitter. This is Raquel, and I'm going to give this a moment to see if anyone joins me today. In the meantime, I'm going to be getting ready. If you're rewatching this video, this is a masculine card, birthday card that I'll be making today using Made to Surprise by Sam Calcutt's dies called Wonderful Wipers Collection. She's now released a secondary collection that will play well with this as well, that you can pick up using my link in the chat, or in the description bar of this video. You're going to see also the same or similar link to Craft Stash, and you can use a 15% off code, and that code is glitter15 altogether. So I'm going to just begin by opening this up. There's no one here yet, so I'm just going to take advantage of that and start cutting the pieces that I'm going to need. Hello, it's Tanya, right? I'm trying to see, my iPad is a little bit far away. But welcome, Tanya. Yes, Tanya, hello. So Tanya, I just was mentioning as the intro for this video that I'm going to be working with Sam Calcutt's Made to Surprise Wonderful Wipers collection today. I'm going to start cutting paper because I don't have this done yet, and then hopefully get through this video and make a masculine birthday card. So I also have, not unique to Craft Stash, but possibly available at Craft Stash, because that's what this video is about today. A Sizzix embossing folder. I may or may not use it. It's called Textured Impressions. This one's 665226. And I thought it was really cool. It's called Swirls. So we'll see what that looks like. And then a clear stamp from AI, or Art Impressions. And I apologize for the glare. This one is called, what is this called? Birthday Laugh Lines. And I thought this was really cute with the old man and his little sweater and then his little balloon. So there's a story, of course, behind that. Oh, wow, that's phenomenal. So I can't even imagine. I would be starstruck, or asking, hey, can I come over and play with all your toys? You know, that would be awesome. I'm getting warm, so I'm gonna take my sweater off here. Okay, so what I'm hoping to make is a little wiper card, and this does come with some speech bubbles, so we'll see how that plays in, because I thought it was really funny. Aside from that, I have over here off to the side, I've got these balloons that I don't know if they're too girly, but I did grab these. Hello, Beverly, and welcome. And I was thinking that maybe I'll add some of these. I don't think it's a bad idea. And I really don't care if there's pink on a masculine card, because I don't think men care at all. And I've got this green paper, and I don't know if you can tell, it is textured on one side. So I'm going to take advantage of the die, and I did cut this down to 6 inches. So all this is really going to do is give me the crease lines here, but I'm going to share with you how this looks once it's done. I am going to go one by one because I don't want to ruin it. I don't have a lot of this paper, and I want to make sure that it looks nice, but what I'm going to do is just try to line it up here evenly, and hopefully it works out great. I suppose I could have cut the paper a little bit bigger, but off to the side I have my machine, and I'm going to start cutting all of the elements, and then we'll do some stamping and coloring. So this card is intended for my father, and he doesn't watch YouTube videos of mine that I know of. So I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so as you see, this gives a really nice impression here, and then all you have to do is fold this super easy. So it'll be mountain fold and then valley, and then I'm going to repeat this And that little leftover piece of paper can come in handy, of course, for another card or a tag or anything like that. So it's not wasteful. And I figured since my father lives in the tropics of Puerto Rico, sunny Puerto Rico, I could make him a card with that nice bright green color. And Beverly, you weren't here when I showed the stamp. This is the little guy that's going to go on the card. Let me know, by the way, excuse my my voice, but I'm still coughing. Let me know, by the way, if you're into coloring your own stamps. I'm curious. Okay, so again, I'm just going to fold it away and then fold it back up again. It's that simple. Now I, of course, want to cut the layers that are going to go on this card. So I'm going to set this die to the side. And I'm going to try to make use of my big cutting magnet here. This is, by the way, from Anna Griffin. And I know I've mentioned that before on this channel. I have this paper here, and I realize that this would be green on green, but I really like this paper. So, and I have, I guess, just a little bit of it left, maybe, I'm not sure. I also have this tan paper, and I thought that would look really nice. So what I'm thinking is of cutting it in that color. Okay, so this is a square that you can cut for the card. Cutting it in this beige color because I think I'm going to do the image inside of here and make it even smaller. And then for the sides to decorate the card, I'll use this beautiful paper here. And then it comes with the dies. These are the matting layers. So I just need to cut that twice. So to fit it on my mat here, what I will do is cut this down. And I like to measure out the die, see if, okay, so that's 6 inches long, and then it's 1 inch wide. So I know that I need 6 inches long by, let's see, let's just do 2 1/4 to make it safe. And then I'll do that twice. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. It is snowing here like it's, you know, like Santa's about to climb down the chimney. I am actually going to cut this down too because I don't need this much paper. And then that way it'll make life easier for me. I'm always thinking backwards, guys. This is the issue with being left-handed. All right. And I suppose I could do this without the die, but I really like the beveled edge that you get when you die cut. So even though I know how to cut a square, I'm still going to use it. I just like that bit of added texture. Okay, so now I think I'm going to go one at a time with these only because that's really thick paper. And it is a pearlescent paper. So I'm going to run this through. Raining. You know, it's kind of interesting. We've been getting a little bit of flooding due to the rain, or I'm sorry, the snow around here when it melts. Ironies, of course. You wouldn't think that that's the case, but it is. But yeah, today it's that flaky snow that looks like it's coming from a movie. So we get lake effect snow is what they call it around here. Okay, so these are nice. Good to go. I'm going to do one more. Actually, no, I have 2 more because I have to do this. And I almost forgot. It's a good thing I just looked over there. This wiper set of dies comes with this particular set or die here. And it comes with the speech bubbles that I was referencing earlier. So I do want to cut these. And I'm going to do that from this white cardstock. Yeah, I think I want to use this. And I suppose I can just cut this away with scissors. like so. That's going to come in handy. All right. I don't typically die cut on video, but I didn't have anything prepared, so I do appreciate your patience while I cut paper. So I know it's not the most interesting thing, but if you haven't noticed, I do have a coupon code for you guys, and you can use it today in conjunction with the other sales that are going on at Craft Stash, which is phenomenal. The good news is that one of my favorite brands, which is also an exclusive brand to Craft Stash, is on sale right now at 50% off, and that is Made to Surprise. I'm sorry, not Made to Surprise, what am I saying? Paper Discovery. I apologize for that. It's Paper Discovery by Olga Direktorenko. If you don't know who she is, she's a phenomenal crafter from the Ukraine who sadly has had to leave her beautiful home since all of the issues that have been going on in her country, and will no longer be selling her crafts through Craft Stash. I wish her all the best, and it really saddens me to know that, but she'll be in my prayers for sure, you know. And her items are beautiful, and in fact, once I get this all going, I might show you guys a few things that I have from hers. And so her items are on 50% off right now, and you can use the 15% off code on top of that. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know. Okay, so back to this. Super cool. Got all my items cut out. I want to, before I forget, I do want to stamp this little guy. He's not very big, so it won't take too long to color, thank God. But let's see how we can make him look cool. Little old man with his little wimpy balloon. I love AI stamps. I think they're so, like, just super funny. So I think I'm gonna use this side, even though, yep, that's just a little bit of glue. So what I want to do here is, and guys, I didn't mention this, but this has one of those funny dentures, so I'm totally going to be using that. Hello, Bonnie. I'm doing well, thank you so much. Still with that nagging little cough of mine that's tickling my throat, but all is well, praise God. I'm happy to be able to craft and bring you guys just a cute little card today. I think I'm going to try doing this solo, as I call it, when I don't use the platform. We'll see what happens. If I ruin it, I'll just cut another piece of card. I want to do alcohol coloring just to make it faster. So for that, I think I'm going to use a hybrid ink, come to think of it, because I have them. So it's time to use them. Let's see here. I got to organize, and so now I don't know where anything is, but I know that I have hybrid inks from Tonic Studios in here. Here they are, I think. Yep, found them. Ay, mamma mia. I get organized and then I don't know where anything is. So, okay, here we go. So I'm going to grab, I think, the blue. This is kind of a lighter blue. It's called Blue Mineral. I think that'll do. And sorry if I was showing too much there for a second. I don't know if this is going to show. I don't see it. I can't tell. Probably not. I think it's going to be too light, so let me switch it up. Okay. I switched it to this darker blue. It's called Midnight Surf. And I just wanted something close enough to black, but not necessarily as dark. Depending on the color, of course, of your line work, when you're stamping, they refer to it as no line coloring, because then the line kind of recedes to the point where you don't even see it. But that's not necessarily the look that I'm going for today. I just didn't want it to be a black ink. Okay, So here we go. Let's give it a try. And I'm not going to do any heat embossing, so that way I don't spend too much time on this. And I'm going to practice grace. So if it isn't perfect, I can always use a color pencil over any imperfections, and 9 times out of 10, that's what I do anyway. And all is well. Yes! I'm happy with that. Awesome. Okay. So I don't think that I'm going to do the sentiment here, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole speech bubble, right? Because he's going to be a snarky old man. But I'm just going to heat this for 2 seconds. Yeah, Bonnie, my definition of organized in this room is different from, you know, being organized in other places of my home, of course. But I did put, if you could tell, in this little tin here, I put all of my little inks, if you will, the ones that didn't fit in another tin anyway. And I don't have that very many of those smaller ones, as you could tell there, but then I stick it in a drawer, and as it happens, then I'm like, where'd it go? I don't know, I can't see it. Okay, so I'm just gonna spot dry this really fast. Okay, and that's just to make myself feel like it's going to be completely dry, and I'm not afraid of it now, if you know what I mean. But yeah, whenever I organize and change the way that I have my organized chaos, I then start to panic because I don't know where anything is. So okay, let's zoom in so that we can see the old man. Okay. Hello, Susie from Illinois. The Cub donation cards. No, Susie, I have a commission of cards that I need to make next this week. And once I'm done with that order, then I can start on those. But it's going to be like, you know, a few here, a few there. So this little man, let's see here. Let's give him some color. And this is by no means a universal formula. This is just me looking over here to my markers to see what might work. Okay. And this is RV10, and that's a very light pink. And then I just grabbed E31, 33, and 53. So I'm going to start with the pink. Now, the further away, this is just a rule of thumb here on coloring, just to let you guys know, okay? The further away you are from the bones in your head or in your hands or whatever, then the more pink you can add to your image, all right? So I know that if I'm going to add pink to this, just to give it a tonality of skin color, right? Then I'm going to go for that schnauzer of a nose he's got. The tips of the ears, his lips, right? He's got little lips, but he's got some. And then his little chin. And then here where the lines are. And then over here, kind of like on his fingertips, or where I think the fleshy part of his hands would be. And over here, maybe on the like the back of his hand. Let's just do that, okay? Super easy, quick. Then I'm going to follow that through with tones of, you know, what is going to make him look like skin color. So these are different colors of beige. And of course, depending on the person you're giving this to, you can go lighter or darker, whatever you want. Now this man's got a couple of little hairs there, but I'm going to disregard that for a minute. And I'm going around here underneath his little birthday hat. And I'm just doing like a little flicking motion, if you can tell. And then I'm going to go back up this way. Okay. You don't need a whole lot of shade to this, but you add as much or as little color as you like. This is just kind of you know, really fast way to color an image, I suppose. And I'm left-handed, as you can tell, so I kind of grab the marker a little bit, maybe strange for your visuals, but I would just say don't overthink it if you're using alcohol markers, because you can always, excuse my cough, you can always go over it with a colored pencil, as I mentioned before. And for those of you who just joined me recently here, even though I just started this video, there's a coupon code for you that you can use at craftstash.com. You can get free shipping with orders over $80 in the US. The code is for 15% off of your order, but you can also use it in combination with the other sales that are going on today. And I just want to thank you guys for being here. Now I'm adding E33, which is the color sand, and I'm going to go back to where I know the light won't hit, like right under his nose, the little creases of his ear. And that's going to cause this image to have a little bit more depth here. Okay, so you don't have to add the color everywhere on the image, but just enough to give yourself a little more of a 3D look here. And the cool thing about these stamps is that it already has some little lines to the body there, so you don't have to think about it too much, okay? But I hope that this helps. Let me go up so you guys can see what I have so far. And if it's looking too stripy, you can grab another mid-tone if you want to and blend it out. Oh, wonderful, Bonnie. That's a great goal to have. Absolutely. I hope I said hi to everyone. There's only 4 people here, counting myself, so cool. Awesome. All right, so with E31, I'm just going to go back in, and you could call this like a color wash if you want to. Just barely touching the paper. I'm dragging that color all the way through. And another thing I forgot to mention was that I'm not using any particular special paper, but I am using 110-pound cardstock, because this is going to be a panel on my card, and I want it to have some body, and I also wanted it to take on the ink really well, you know. So I'm going to give his hair a different color so that it's not so matchy-matchy with his skin. And for that, I'm going to use, let's see here. I was thinking of adding like shades. Well, actually I do have gray. Let's do B60. And this is called pale gray. So it's barely visible. It almost comes across as a super light lavender. And then I'm going to follow that up with N4. Just ever so slightly here. Only at the little roots of his hair there. He's got like 3 little strands. He's so cute. All right. So I'm going to put these aside and move in with his color for his little jacket here. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of match this, even though if you see the cheeks on the image, they gave him some super rosy cheeks, and you can certainly do that. They also went ahead and added quite a bit of shadow there from the balloon, and I can actually do that at the end, and I'll show you how. But I am going to match the papers because I'm going with the green. So let's go with, I think I want, let's see here. I'm going to start with G24 and YG17. Of course, you don't have to commit any of that to memory or anything. But I'm going to, if you're using alcohol markers, you can try to aim for the edge of the image where you see the line, but not necessarily color all the way there. And this is fabric, so meaning the image of course. So you kind of want to follow along where you think there's going to be a fold. And as I said, what's cool about these stamps is it kind of helps you along. And I know that his arm is in there, so I'm going to try to emulate that kind of shape. And over here, they kind of didn't add the other arm, but that's okay. He's got his little belly. Okay, so that's that much. And then I'm going to go in with the YG17, and I'm going to go in to that edge again. Only this time, I'm trying to skip here and there so that it's not all dark. And this is going to give it a little bit of depth also. And of course, if you wanted to make this like a polka dot sweater, you could do that. Stripes, you name it. You could even block off the rest of the image and make yourself a stencil if you wanted to, and you know, maybe give them a particular fabric look that you like. Okay, and here where it creases, I'm just going to be very intentional there with dropping some ink in there, as I say. Okay, and then underneath his collar. And again, the whole idea is just to try to make things look as natural as you can, as if there's actual shadows there. Okay, I'm just going to go back in a little bit here, right under that collar. And that is seemingly a white collar. It doesn't have to be, but I'm going to go in with this very light pale gray again, the BG60. And I'm just going to go in for part of that collar over here, right under that balloon, just to give it that shadow that I was talking about earlier. And in order to just kind of complete this, I'm going to go ahead and use that same BG60 and cast a shadow on the side of his face. And if you see what I just did there, okay, just kind of like a letter C, a backwards letter C, if you can imagine that. And then get that ear again. Very, very lightly though, okay? And all it does is it creates that look of, you know, there's a shadow cast on his face, right? I'm going to do the same on his nose. And then I'm going to do the same on his little glasses here. It's a very light use of color, but it transforms that image into a more 3D look there. So I'm going to follow through on his hat. I'm going to give him a little more color there. So green and orange, of course, always look fantastic together. So the color honey is what I'm going to use on the center of his little hat here, and then on the little party portion of it, right? Whatever that's called. Fuzzies. And then I am actually going to go in with this aqua color. Actually, it's called Tahitian Blue for his hat, just because I want to, actually, no, this marker's dead in the water. Okay, let's go with BG45. I have no idea why that marker was like that. But it came like that from the store, which I believe was Michael's. So, all right, I'm going to go back in with that BG60, and I'm just going to give it a little rim here of color or shade on that little hat. And then the same thing again of, you know, the balloons covering some of the sun. So just on the side there, I gave it a little bit of shade. And I'm going to color the pants, and then I'll do the shading on that, okay? And please let me know if this sort of video is helpful to you. I would appreciate the feedback. Of course, a thumbs up always helps my channel. That way I know if this is the type of content that you're looking for. And of course, I mean, I just like to share anyway, but it's good to get the feedback. So here I'm going to go with E31. He's going to get the typical khakis. And of course, you can add Like if you want a greener color to it, you can add a light green first and then do all your beige. The same goes for, let's see here, you could do lilac. Yeah, I would say those two different colors you can add definitely as shadows if you wanted to. But as I said, I don't want to spend too much time doing this. But here I go with the E31. And as you can tell there, I'm kind of leaving a little bit of blank space here and there. Okay. Going under here and under his cane. So the reason I picked this stamp is because my father recently, sadly, ended up having to get a cane. And I thought he would appreciate a little card with this little guy walking around with his cane. So here's E33, and he's got a excuse me, a good healthy sense of humor, so I thought he would like this. So I'm going to go right under that sweater and give him a little bit of shadow there. And I'm just doing that flicking motion again. Okay, going right under that, under his arm. And over here, because it's kind of the back, it can be a little bit darker. And then I'm gonna just go along the crease of his pants there. And this one here. And then I'm just gonna follow that one as well. And a little bit down here. And I'm gonna go in with E35 now. This is the darkest of the three. And I'm only gonna go here on the edge, very close to the top. I'm going to follow that edge of the pant, the interior part here, just a little bit of that edge, and then going back up to the top. Now I'm going to go a little bit darker here just because that hand could end up looking a little bit too much like the color of the pants there. I'm going to go ahead and just darken that whole part there as if there's a shadow. And the same goes for this part of the pant because he's covering that essentially with his arm and cane, and then the back of this also. Okay. I'm going to go back with that mid-tone again. I'm just going to quickly... Tanya, the tips that I can give you is to... if you want to, of course, this is just personal opinion. Oops. I meant to grab the lighter color, so I goofed there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to grab that lighter color and just kind of blend it out a bit so that the light isn't too light. But what I was going to say is you can always take, and this is just something I learned in design, you can take a paper and maybe stamp out some hollow circles or whatever shape you like, and then grab 3 colors and color the lightest, the mid-tone, and the darkest, if you know what I mean, like in the same color family. And then that way you get to see how your markers work with one another. And then also how dark is the marker that you have. Because if you can tell here, I've used 3 colors of brown, and they blend really well because it is an alcohol marker, but sometimes the cap color and the actual color that you see coming out of the marker isn't necessarily, you know, as like the cap isn't as descriptive of the color as, you know, as when you actually color it out. And I hope that makes sense. But you can also do undertones the same way. You know, for instance, I could have done an undertone here of gray, or like I mentioned before, the lilac. I happen to be doing it on top, but a lot of people do it before they color the whole thing. So Beverly, as far as tonic shopping, what did I get? What did I get? I got some of the bundles. I did a haul video, and I am going to, oh yes, I'm waiting on the new release that is going to be the wheelbarrow. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm trying to be a little more selective this year than I was last year, as far as what I get. That's what I tell myself all the time anyway, right? But anyway, this is B60. So that's what I want. I told my husband, I said, I really want the wheelbarrow die set. So I'm going to hold off for that one because I do have some mini album dies that I've yet to even play with, and I really need to get on that. um, okay, so you can tell I'm putting this lilac over this, but it's not really like, how would I say it? It's lightening the image a tiny bit because there is alcohol here, but once it dries, it's going to blend really nicely, and it's just going to look like a shadow. So last but not least, I'm going to do the shoes, and I'm just going to quickly do those so that I'm not here too long. And this is a light gray, and I'm just going to do most of the shoe in that. And then I'm going to follow it through with a dark gray. So I'm not going to be too specific about that one. Then I'll do the cane, of course. But yeah, the wheelbarrow is so adorable. And in fact, I have the file in my Cameo, but as you guys know, there's just something about die cutting paper that leaves such a pretty indentation, I think, in the paper. It kind of gives it shape. And I really like that. And I believe them to be very versatile anyway, because then you can use them with the sets you already have. So here I'm going to go with N4 on that entire cane. It looks like the leg of a horse to me. I don't know why. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to darken it up a little more if I can. So yeah, swatching is ideal. I didn't do any swatching today because I was like, I need to get this video out. But you're absolutely right. I could have botched that image really quickly, and thank God I didn't. Okay, so this is C7, and this is just a dark gray. And I'm going to be very gentle with that because I don't want to get this on any other part than where it is necessary. And what I'm going to do here is kind of try to follow the line of that cane, but only on the part like closest to the right. Just like that, not the entire thing, okay? And then the little beveled area at the bottom there, just like that. I'm also going to do kind of like the back of the shoe there, and the back of this shoe, just a little bit there. That's it. And before I forget, back with that, I forgot a little bit of shadow here with the B60. Just forgot the inner portion of this hand, so I'm just going to go in here and just drag that along the bottom part of that hand. That's it. Now let's move on to the balloon. And I might do a little bit of highlight. Now, I had used that blue on the hat. I think I want to use the same blue on the balloon. Blue balloon, biking backwards. Oh gosh, it's reminding me of Dr. Seuss. All right, so here I am going to try to color this entire thing. Going light here, light-handed, and then depositing a little bit more color, like so. If you want something to look round, you cannot use the same amount of color on the whole thing. It's like you have to go from light to dark. And then I'm going to go in with B32, which is still a rather light kind of lilac color. This is called pale blue. but I'm going to go in here with that just to give it a shadow, even though it's called pale blue, but in this case it's going to be the shadow of my image. And I'm going to use it down here. I'll go back with the BG45. And there's that. Don't have to think too much about it. Now, if this is too stripy, what I'll do is follow it through with a pencil. Okay, right there. Now, I do like to give my images some highlight. And what I'll do is just very gently go in with a white pen. And this is probably not going to be too visible, but just kind of dab it here and there with a little dot or line or whatever. Same with the balloon. Do a little bit of a line and a few dots there. It's not necessary, but it will bring out the dark part of the images a little bit more if you do the highlight. And again, this is barely visible there. All right. Might want to do a little line on the glasses maybe, but it's not necessary. Okay. I think I'm done with this for now. I'm going to set aside my markers and start assembling the card so that way you guys get to see what it's supposed to look like. Now, of course, you could shade this with, in fact, now that I say that, let's go ahead and let's just add a little bit of color to this. Why not? Why not? I'm going to use milled lavender just because it is so light, and I'm going to try to put very little of this color. I'm going to go in from the edge, and I'm barely going to drop color onto this just so that it's not too stark white. I'm going to move my image. I'm left-handed, so if you could tell what I just did there, instead of trying to go like this and color from this area, which would be completely unnatural for my wrist, I make the same movement all the time and just move my image instead. Because all I'm aiming for is the very edge of that. Okay? And that way I'll get a nice soft result, and I can kind of kiss that initial image a little bit with the color. It's not going to ruin anything. It's going to give me a little bit of depth there. And I'm going to do this little edge a little bit more. Okay. I think that's good enough for now. All right. I'm going to wipe this down really fast with a paper towel. And I'm going to zoom out now that I'm not coloring anymore. If you want to use that color for something else, of course, you can take another piece of paper and soak all that up. Okay, so let's zoom out like that. Okay, so a little bit more. If you see, hopefully you can tell the difference. I started out as a stark white piece of paper, and now it has a little bit of a glow to it because of that lavender. So here is our base of this card. I did say that I wanted to add this panel on the back. So I'm going to add this here on the front first. I'm going to use my Nuvo, which usually takes a nap when I'm doing my live videos, but today it's happy. Okay. And I'm going to try to do as much of this, you know, panels before I put it together. And I do still have to stamp out the sentiment. Now I didn't cut this perfectly here, so I'm just going to cut that away really quick. And that was my fault for having cut the paper too close to the edge, but these scissors are good for that. So they're nice and long. And voila. One more little bit. The perfectionism comes out no matter what. I'm just taking off a little hair. And if it isn't perfect, that's okay. Alright, so that's enough of that. Okay, the little panels that I'm going to use over here, I thought to emboss, but I'm not sure now. I think I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick it all down. That way this video is not too long, because I can always go back over this with the embossed portion and lay it right on top in a lighter color. So I might go ahead and do that off camera. So here are just the little panels. They just happen to fit here on the sides. And I recently shared a card with the same die set, but I wanted to come back today to share with you guys that you can pick this up along with other dies that are at really wonderful prices right now over at Craft Stash, and use the coupon for my subscribers, which is glitter 15 for 15% off. So if you do like this set and you think you want to add it to your repertoire, go ahead and use that, and I think you'll enjoy it. And of course Sam Calca, I mean, she's phenomenal. All her stuff is super cute. In fact, I wanted to show you guys the stamp that I colored of hers that goes with this set, like it coordinates with it, and I can't find it for the life of me. But I've had it sitting out here for such a long time because it's this giraffe sticking his tongue out. And every time I look at it, it makes me smile. But I know, like I said, I cleaned up, and now I don't know what I did with it. It's got to be in a bin with all the other... I took all of my ephemera and put it in one place and stamped images and whatnot. Okay, so if you see here what I'm doing, just to explain to you guys, I cut out this base piece twice. And if you can tell here, one of them is going to be the front of my card, and the two little stripes are to the left. The other one's going to be the back of my card, and the two little stripes are to the right. I'm just going to flip this over like that, and this is going to be glued here, and then this end is going to glue over here. But before I do that, I'm going to grab this piece that I cut out with this die here, and if you can tell, it has a score line on the corner. This is going to create the wiper mechanism. So here it is. I'm just going to hold it and turn it this way, and here's the little corner. Okay? I'm going to fold that up, and on here I'm going to put some strong adhesive. I'm going to take my Craft Perfect 3mm, what is it called? 16-inch? Half an inch, that's what it is. Now this is red line tape, and it's pretty aggressive, but you can use liquid glue, of course. You just want to make sure that you cover that little triangle, okay? Because you want this to adhere, and you don't want that to move, because this is going to be the fun part of your card, and you don't want it to fall apart when the recipient tries to use it, because that would take all the fun away. Right, so I'm trying to grab that little triangle there so as to cover that whole little edge there, and then I'll just cut away what I don't need. Okay. Now that little triangle is going to make sure that the wiper works, but he needs to say something. As I said earlier, I was joking around saying he's going to be a snarky old man. So let's put his little phrase of whatever it is he's going to say onto the speech bubble. And this does come, by the way, with 2 different sizes of speech bubbles that you can use. And it also comes with the layering panel for this. So if you want this to be frilly and cute, you can make it that way by layering the decorative panel on top. I just wanted to show you guys the difference between the speech bubbles because I have two different sizes. This is the one that I cut, and as you see here, it'll fit different sentiments, but then say you don't want to use something that big, it has a smaller one. So you can definitely just go ahead and use that, you know. I love this. It says, I'm retired, go around. That's excellent. Oh my gosh. I love this. All right, so let's look for a sentiment here. I think I want to use this here. They're all wonderful. It says the body may be slowing, but the mind is revving up for trouble. Oh my gosh. Happy birthday. You still light up the room as well as 4 city blocks. You're not old. You're chronologically gifted. I think I read this one. Old enough to know better, too old to care. I don't know if I read that one or not. This is from my father, by the way. So I can go ahead and be silly. So let's do the old enough to know better, too old to care. I think he's gonna like it. All right, so I'm gonna place this on here. This happens to have lines on it, so it kind of helps me out. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do black ink. So for this, I am gonna use my VersaFine because this is a brand new stamp. I haven't used it yet. And if you're weary of whether or not the ink will stick, you know, because this is such high quality, I can just like rub my fingers over it. If not, then you can take an eraser and just go over it, or just scrub it clean before you use them. And Ruth, who's from Tonic Studios, from the design team, she says she takes the whole panel of stamps like this and runs the whole thing under soapy water and scrubs it before she uses her stamps, and that helps her out. I thought that was a really cool tip, so I figured I should let you guys know. And I'm just gonna stamp. I'm gonna move this aside for 1 second. I think I always, 9 times out of 10, stick my ring right into that ink. All right, so we're gonna pretend this is straight. Go ahead and stamp that down. And it's, as you can tell, I could add another like layer of ink on top of that, but that's okay. I can go over that with a black pen. So I'm just gonna go with that. Before I ruin anything, wipe that ink off my ring. Okay. Now, back to this. In order for this to work, you need that sentiment adhered onto this little wiper mechanism. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to adhere it on here. And I want to make sure that when I place it back here, because it's going to go back here, that it's not too far up. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down first. And I'm going to just add a little drop of glue in case I need to move it. But if you don't trust yourself, what you can do is add a piece of washi to it to hold it for you, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and just put it here. Just like that. And this is where I meant, like, if you wanted to decorate that, you can do that. You can add another little panel here. I might sneak it under there afterwards. But here's the front of your card. Just flip it. Bring your little wiper mechanism right to that fold line. And you want to make sure, of course, that you can't see it on top yet. Hold it there and then take off the backing to your tape. And if you need to use a pokey tool, you might want to, so you don't frustrate yourself. Get the liner off of that. Those little liners are more faithful than PPL love because they stick to you. Anyway, all right, so I'm just gauging the distance here, and this is maybe, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch down from that top. And then I'm going to fold over that edge. just like that. Okay, now that back portion, and of course you can put a panel here, by the way, for your sentiment. That back portion is going to glue onto here, and you're gonna see the magic happen. It's gonna be so cool. And then what I'll do is I'll put the front panel on, but I'm just gonna glue this little edge here now. Come on, Nuvo. Here we go. Just a strip of adhesive there, because you're only doing that edge. And you could, you know, of course you can use your red line tape if you want to, or score tape, or whatever tape. Right? Just butting that edge right up there. I'll take a peek at the chat. Let's see here. So, who do I have here? Okay. I don't see. You got the 320. Oh, hoo-hoo. Took you 3 hours. Oh, wow, Bonnie. So, are you happy with the intensity of the color of those? And I'm so sorry I had the glare there. I forgot all about it. Because I've heard of a lot of people using those. So, this is going to fold. I think I did it upside down, guys. Did I do it upside down? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Wait a minute. Did I do it upside down? I think I did. Let me see here. No, I didn't. I was doubting myself for no reason. I'm such a dork. Okay, anyway. I'm going to add my little strip of glue here. I'm like, why did I do that? Consistently crazy, but I'm consistent. All right, anyway, all you have to do now, this is super easy, guys. You just butt up that edge with the next one. Try not to doubt yourself like I just did, because I thought I had done it all wrong. But if that gave you any ideas, of course, you can do this on the bottom if you want to, and then just have a little pop-up there. It would pop up depending on how you open the card, of course. So that's up to you, okay? All right, so this is the card closed. I'm just gonna kind of flatten it a second, and that's gonna give that glue a minute to dry, of course. I don't want to go too fast, because then that'll ruin everything, right? So I'm just gonna burnish, flip it over, burnish some more. And this, by the way, if I didn't mention, is a 6-inch square card, of course. Let's put the little panel on the front. And just going to add some glue here. And I'll probably add some more little doodads off camera, of course. Like I said before, this is just to give you a, you know, a sample of how the die set can be used. And this little bit here is bothering me, so I'm going to try to clean that off. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I'll cover it up with a balloon or something. Okay. Now, moment of truth. The wiper mechanism is, ta-da! That's it. You pull on it, and he says what he's got to say, right? Now, if you want to make sure that you see the little speech bubble part, of course, you can adhere that a little bit higher. Like, I could totally do that. Just pull this off, you know, and put it a little bit higher. That's why I wasn't too, you know, aggressive with the whole, you know, glue thing. And yes, it's going to tear a little bit the paper. It's okay, though. It's no one's going to cry about that, because I can cover that up with the panel that I had shared with you guys before. Just wanted to show you a sample, right? So that way you see that little portion. But that's up to you, you know, how far up you want to put that. Then, as I mentioned before, you can put little balloons and all of that stuff. So over here, I have, and this is a separate die set, but Sam Calcutt does have balloons and that sort of thing. She's got little different things that you can add to your to your makes, you know, to your cards and whatnot. So I was thinking of course, adding some balloons here. I did get out those stickers that I shared with you guys, which you can definitely add to the sentiment if you want to. You know, the one thing you have to bear in mind is if it's poofy like this, if you put it inside the card, then it's going to have that little bump. You guys know what I mean? But I think I might cut some of these out using these papers. I like these colors. These are the Sherbet. Been working with this card stock lately. This collection of colors is super cute. Got that one. Add some yellow in there, make it vibrant, and maybe some blue. Okay. And I think for this I'll just use my bitty machine here because I think this is big enough. Cut out some balloons. Yep. But you can imagine you can have a lot of fun with it because, awesome Tanya, because you can add whatever you like back there as the little peekaboo effect, you know. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It's just whatever occurs to you. Like you could put the actual balloons up there if you want instead of the sentiment. That's another idea. So whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat. I was thinking actually of the little teeth also. I thought that would be really cute. So I might add that later, you know, just add it along with the sentiment. So I'm just cutting the little balloons, as you can see here. And I think I might do 2 in this color, maybe. And of course, you can emboss these, ink them, whatever. Okay. I was thinking, in fact, of adding twine or, you know, a little bit of thread. So let me take a peek and see if I have anything thin enough that'll work with this. But here's some balloons. And this, like I said, this is just from a separate die set I happen to have on hand. But here goes the blue, the dark blue, I should say. And I was just thinking that that would look really cute. I think maybe like that. And maybe a different color. I think I need orange. Yep. So let's make this color orange. Oh, thank you so much. You know, a lot of people tell me that they struggle to make masculine cards. And I have to be honest, I think it's because, I don't know if it's because I'm a mom of boys or just grew up with boys all over the place. But I have 2 brothers, so, excuse me, that I find it actually easier. I don't know why, but I find it easier to make masculine cards than feminine ones. I think they can be just practical, to the point, and, you know, fast and easy. So what I want to do here, of course, is I want to take advantage of all this white space to add the little threads of those balloons, of course. So I could die cut them, and yes, I do have die cuts that do the whole frilly zwiggly. I don't want to do that. I want to use, let's see here. We can use these threads, or what do you call these things? You guys know what this is called. Twine. Twine. All right, well, there's some green. I can't get the blue out because I don't know where it commences or begins here. I know it's in there somewhere, but I can't tell. I've got this turquoise. I've got orange. Gee, wouldn't it be awesome to match them exactly, but that's not going to happen today. I've got red, because I think I'm just going to do 3 colors because it's just the idea, you know, convey the idea of the little strings there. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to grab 3 strings. Here's the length of my card. So I'm going to give myself a piece here. And this is, I'm grabbing the wrong scissors. Oh, watch me ruin my good scissors there. Okay, I'm going to use my Timmy scissors. Here we go. So I've got that. Then what I'm going to do is take advantage of double-sided adhesive. That's going to make my life easier. But I'm first going to kind of place the balloons in the order that I want to see them on the card. And I think like that. Maybe like that. Yeah, I think I like that. So now I'm going to add the glue. And it's, you know, a little bit goes a long way. So just a little drop here. A little drop behind the orange one. A little drop behind the yellow one, which is going to overlap these two guys. So drop there and there. And it's okay if that's covered. I do want to see kind of that bottom portion of some of the balloons anyway. And then when I have them where I want them, I'm just going to flip the whole thing over now. And I'm going to use my double-sided adhesive here to kind of hold these guys together. And also to help me hold the twine there. Le twine. Okay, so I'm going to do a little knot, whoopsie, on all 3 of these guys. But the sky's the limit with this sort of thing. I think it's so cute. So this is going to be kind of the bottom, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the, actually no, I don't need to do the knot on the top. I'm just going to do another little piece of tape. So I'm going to take away all of this. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. And I have my length, which I can double check and all that good stuff. And what I can do also is do little bows on the bottom there. Whoopsie. I'm so sorry, guys. I just realized I was way off kilter there. But I can add a little bit of tape behind that little yellow balloon. Okay, kind of directing those little strings. That's why I tore off a piece. I hope this makes sense, but I'm directing it here. And if you really want to be finicky about it, you can add hot glue. Okay. Just going to pull back what I don't need there. I don't want to have it be visible from the front. And then I'm going to pull, let's say, that other little green one in this direction to be the string for the orange one. And place another piece of tape there. And I know this is faffing, as my friend would say. I'm faffing at this point, but that's inevitable. Okay, and I'm going to add my glue now. I'll add it on here as well, just because I kind of don't trust that double-sided adhesive too much. And this can just go, it can actually go all the way to the top. There we are, just like that. And I could actually make the little knot a little bit higher. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that knot that's already there. And kind of just pull it up a little bit more. Like so. Here we go. I don't know. I think it's fun. The knot might be a little bit big, but I think it's fun. And of course, I'm going to be adding my little drops now. I could go all the way around the border with drops or add them right to the balloons to give it some shine. I can add any kind of glaze or glossy accents, for instance, to his little balloon there, the little button, the glasses, that sort of thing. But I think it's a lot of fun. It's a cute little card, and of course that element of surprise. And as I said before, you can use that same die if you'd like to and cut your panel on the back for your sentiment, or just make it so that, you know, it's decorative on the back as well, and then cut an even smaller panel for your sentiment there. But I think it's cute. Old enough to know better, too old to care. And I really think that I'm gonna be adding at least, you know, actually, you know what I was thinking? To decorate one of the balloons with this little guy. Wouldn't that be so funny? That's kind of like a little, maybe the yellow balloon? I don't know, is that too much? With the little dentures? Part of me is like, is it cruel to add the dentures? I don't know. I might add it to the back, you know, the little panel, the decorative panel in the back. In fact, I can use some of this leftover paper, and because the sentiment doesn't have to be too big, I can kind of overlap it and then decorate this. Let's do that. And then I'll let you guys go. It's already almost 2. Oh my gosh. So let me just do this. Just as a decorative little element on the back of this. And what I'll do is that I'll make it a tone-on-tone thing. Oh my gosh. I just think it's so funny. So I have this color. It's called Tiki Torch. I haven't used it yet. That's from Catherine Pooler. Let's see what that looks like. And of course, you know, try to be, have fun, but also, you know, be considerate of the recipient. Don't want to have something be funny to you, but not to them. But I think this is a cute little set. Can't get over the teeth. Oh, but this is super pigmented ink, by the way, so as you can tell, it's just a tiny little touch there, and I can make a background of my own. I'm gonna go off the edge there a little bit, and there's that. Oh my gosh, it's too funny. And then I'll go ahead and add the little panel over here. And let's see here. I know that I have paper that size. Do you think I could find it? I think I might just do it like this. And put this one right here like that. Yep. I think I'm just going to do it like that, make it decorative, and in fact, to give this a little bit of a finished edge, you can just take the ink and just go right along the edge a little bit there. Just a tiny bit, because this is super duper juicy ink. But it'll make it look like it's got a little bit of a matted paper look. Just like that. That's only if you trust yourself to do that. Oh gosh. Of course, it's not absolutely perfect, but again, these are handmade cards, so I think it's kind of overrated to do the whole perfect thing all the time, because people are just going to appreciate the fact that you thought of them and you sent them a little something. To say, you know, I appreciate your sense of humor, or those times that we can laugh together, or whatever, you know. And there's that. And then this little guy is going to go right here. And I might doodle on here also, just to kind of focus on this little panel for the sentiment. Can take a black pen and just doodle around it. Super cool. But the idea, of course, is this is going to travel flat. And you can set something heavy on top of it, guys, just to let you know, overnight. So that way it has a little bit more of that propensity to stay. But yeah, that's it. Super simple and easy. I had fun making this card. I like it when I can giggle as I'm crafting. So yeah, guys, feel free to share the video if you want to. As I said before, a thumbs up always helps my channel. Use the links if you want to shop. You don't have to, of course, but take advantage of those sales. And oh, before I go, let me quickly show you a couple things. Gosh. Okay, this is just a very quick peek of paper discovery. I have some items here that you may or may not like. This might be the style of crafting that you like, or stamping or whatever. But these are some items that I'm going to be working with. Of course, I got them in anticipation of using them more toward like the spring and summertime. But this is the Tropical World set or collection from Olga. And as I said before, she's not going to be crafting or creating for Craft Stash any longer. So if you like the tropical thing, if you like, she's got another collection that's newer, that's all about dance, and some of it's already sold out, of course. But if you like making cards for people in your life that like dancing or travel, she's got a whole collection that's all about baby. Another collection that's, it's called Moroccan Nights. That's very Middle Eastern in feel and imagery. The other one is a music collection. So if you have a musician in your life, you might enjoy that. But look at the detail. This is what I wanted to share with you. The detail in the images. And of course, I'm so sorry that I don't have these stamped out yet. But I'll come back, of course, as soon as I have samples. And this is, oh, I also have, I did share in the past, this past fall, I shared a couple of projects made with her fall collection that I also have. But I made, I also have her nativity collection. But I sadly didn't have time to take pictures of the cards that I made this past Christmas with her collection, but I can tell you they're absolutely gorgeous. I did make a card using these mushroom stamps and whatnot, and this was from the Bountiful Harvest collection. There's, of course, you can get just the stamps, just the embossing folders, etc., etc. But they're absolutely beautiful. They're good quality. If you know, everything from Craft Stash is top notch. They don't sell, they don't sell subpar product. But this is the little envelope that creates the shape of a leaf. I think I may have shared that. I can't remember now because it's been a while. But I just wanted to mention that. So if you want to support Olga, it would be a wonderful way to do so. And you can get your hands on some really beautiful stuff that you can use in your paper crafting that you know is going to be good quality. And it's it would be 65% off if you use my code today. So just saying. All right, guys. But I want to thank you for having been here. If you have any questions, please let me know. I've been here for an hour. I don't want to take up your whole afternoon, but it's been a lot of fun to craft with you. Let me know. Let's see here. I'm gonna look again here at my chat. Okay, I don't think I have any questions. If you do, let me know, and I'll be happy to get back to you. But the code, as I said at the beginning of the video, is glitter, all one word, GLITTER 15, and it will be 15% off your purchase today, as well as free shipping in the United States for $80 or more in purchase. You're very welcome. And you can also take advantage of the sales for by the way, the code is for all of the Craft Stash brands. I want to be clear on that, okay? And if you use my link it's going to take you right to their exclusive brands. So if you like Made to Surprise, if you like Paper Discovery, if you like card making magic, you know, brands like that, then you're going to find something for sure. Okay. But thank you. Thank you, Beverly, Bonnie, Tanya was here, Susie. Yes, and any of my other subscribers and the newer subscribers that have been coming by, even if you don't leave a comment, that's okay. I truly appreciate your feedback. And as I always say, I hope that you be inspired and be blessed. And thank you for being here. Bye-bye.